Financial services that plays a pivotal role in shaping the economic landscape of any nation, and Nigeria is definitely no exception. As Africa's largest economy, Nigeria's financial sector wields considerable influence and responsibility in driving economic growth and development, from banking and insurance to the capital markets and the fintech innovation. So that's what we're going to be discussing now. And also the CIBN they're launching their annual Banking and Finance Conference. So joining me from Abuja studio, I have Mr. Ken Okpara, President of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
So can you, elaborate on the significance of the theme, Nigeria's economic growth and empowerment, the role of financial services industry at this time?
Okay, thank you so much. This is the 16th annual conference of the Banking and Finance holding in Abuja, Transcorp, 5th and 6th of this month, that's tomorrow and Wednesday. The theme of this year's annual conference is carefully chosen to reflect the economic reality, the mood of the moment, and how financial services industry can support and play a pivotal role in supporting and growing the critical sectors of the economy. We recognize that there is need to drive economic growth at such a time like this, and also look at the various components that will help in driving that, the payment platform, financial inclusion, supporting the risk sector, infrastructural support, and a whole lot of. And this essentially also aligns with the current administration, basically to lift the people above poverty as much as possible. And so we'll be gathering to discuss this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We need to lift a lot of people out of poverty in Nigeria here. But are there any special sessions, registered participants should look forward to, at the conference?
Yes, it promises to be a whole lot of attraction and interest to the entire Nigerian society and the entire world. As much as possible, we'll be having 1,000 people physically attending, and then over 10,000 people that will be joining us virtually. Essentially, there are different subject matter experts that will be talking to us. We'll be talking about positioning the payment system, and then, of course, in line with what is happening at the global market and technological changes that is happening. Following up that is also the cyber security and financial crime, because as we also adopt technology, we need to be careful and conscious of the crimes that is also happening around that place and how to manage that, not just in the financial sector, but also in every aspect of business. You hear people talking about the fact that you need to give them your account detail, you need to give, who go into the platform as much as possible. There you will see cyber crime experts having to tell you what you need to avoid, what are the things you need to do as much as possible. We'll also be talking about how to unlock the economic growth for this country using the SME. As you know, SME represent a catalyst for economic growth. They represent over 50% GDP contribution, and they employ over 80% of the workforce in this country. So they are critical. So you will see experts talking about opportunities available for SME. How do we build capacity in that area? How do we position them to take opportunities as much as possible? We'll also be talking about monetary policy and financial inclusion. It's important that we build platforms that will support those that are not currently using the conventional banking services and look at the areas where we don't have people using financial services as much as possible. So that's very important. Another area discussion would also focus is infrastructure. Of course, you agree with me that that is very critical. If an economy needs to grow and grow in the quantum, you need to develop infrastructure. Power, and of course the rail, of course you've talked about the transport and other related areas are very critical. There are costs that affect, manufacturing and other sectors. So there will be conversation around that place. Of course, we'll be talking about governance and sustainability. How do you be relevant? CIBN is the conscience of the banking industry. We're talking about how to enthrone corporate governance as much as possible. How do we ensure that sustainable banking relating to the environment, green banking as much as also very important. That's it. So these are some of the conversations that will happen at this conference, and we are going to have subject matter experts and of course practitioners converge at the city of Abuja Transcorp to be able to provide relevant conversation around this area and also build capacity.
And I'm sure, organizations and individuals will be looking forward to this. But how can they, participate in the conference, talking about, individuals and organizations?
Okay, essentially, we have provided different platforms. Basically, for those that want to register for this program, they can go to CIBN website, which is www.cibnng.org. Essentially, once you get there, you get the link, very friendly, user-friendly as much as possible. But I can tell you that a whole lot of people are doing this program. It will be streamed live in the various social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and a whole couple of that. So people don't necessarily need to be physically present at this event to be able to have that. So once they register, they would have access to get business conversation, ideas on essentially the key areas that will be relevant to how they can grow their businesses as much as possible.
Right. Well, one of the many benefits of technology at this point, you don't have to be physically there. You can connect through social media. But what are the next steps or actions that will follow the conference, to build on the discussions and insights gained?
Essentially, that's very important because it's not a talk show. It's basically you will see the various stakeholders, the captains of industry, the financial industry players, and also the fintech players, government, and also the relevant international community as much as possible convert that. At the end of this session, there will be a communique that will be raised as much as this will be given to the relevant stakeholders, and there will be also visits as much as possible, collaboration to ensure that the discussion, conversation that came out from that, the conference are actually implemented. Or even the budget, of course, as we begin to position for the next year budget, some of the deliberation and conversation that are actually coming from that place would also be sent to the key stakeholders. We will have also for the manufacturer association, basically, and then of course the exporters, which is required essentially to grow the FX base. We would also submit that. We would also have engagement session with these critical stakeholders, essentially to ensure that implementation is actually taken through.
Right, implementation, definitely key at this point. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to the 16th Annual Banking and Finance Conference by CIBN, kicking off tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ken Opara, President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.